this important hearing, and I appreciate all the panelists for their good input and sincere desire to help families, especially working families at tough times. And we've talked about, let me say that my general philosophy and approach to policymaking is that strong nations are nothing more than just the cumulative effect of strong families. So I do think one measure of success for policymaking is, are we strengthening the family? And I think the stress and strain that especially working lower income, middle income folks are feeling is real. And then you put the largest generational retirement and aging group in the history of the world on that, and you're looking at some big challenges in the future. But I think Ms. Manning's statement is worth restating in that we must judge policies not by their intentions, but by their results. And I'm concerned about the Family Act for a number of reasons. I'm concerned, number one, that it's going to displace state and local sort of control over how best to serve their population. It's going to displace employer-based programs that are designed to meet the needs of specific companies and their employees. It's the cost of this is tremendous. The average income, family income in my district in rural West Texas is $41,000. And a 3% increase in the payroll tax would be $1,200. These folks don't have $1,200. The majority of them are living paycheck to paycheck. I dare say more than half don't have $500 in their checking or savings account. And we're going to ask them to pay $1,200 more dollars a year, which begs the question for me. And Ms. Manning, you can start. I may just open it up, but where's the data? I'm always suspect when Washington policymakers gather around with great intentions and say, we have the solution and we understand the need and desire of our citizens. So is there a good data on the employees who are at the lower income and middle income who are willing to make the trade-off of 3% increase? I cited my average family income of $41,000 a year, and they'd pay $1,200. Is the data there that suggests that folks are willing to get this one-size-fits-all federal mandate for the cost of the taxes they'll pay? Do you know of any specific data or research in that regard?
Well, my fellow panelists mentioned a poll that has been conducted that asks specifically about the costs. Of course, I think the cost estimate, as I mentioned earlier, is too low. And many workers say that they would make that trade-off. However, if
for a 3% increase?
No, for a lesser increase. But my point is, even if that were true, that the vast majority of American workers were willing to make this trade-off, then the federal government could establish a voluntary social insurance program where people opted to pay the payroll tax and then they opted to become eligible for these benefits. But the reality is it's not something that all Americans want. That's why it has to be mandatory.
Well, I have other concerns, and with the last minute of my time here, the fact that we have these various entitlement programs that some of them earn benefits, some of them welfare entitlement programs. I haven't seen one that hasn't grown, that hasn't expanded in benefits without the ability to pay for itself, without the funding behind it. That's just the way it works up here. And we have two of the most important safety nets programs for seniors that are insolvent, including Social Security, where we want to add another layer of bureaucracy behind backlogs and other bureaucratic problems at Social Security Administration. And we want to add a new entitlement program without fixing the one that exists. It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. And we've done some things, bipartisan, Mr. Chairman, I thought were great out of the Secure Act. Let people draw down penalty-free some of their 401k money, tax credits. I think incentivizing, creating a market, letting the private sector meet that need, I think will go a lot further, and we'll all be a lot happier as a result, and there'll be a lot more choice for our citizens. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I thank the gentleman. Let me recognize the gentlelady